Hello, everybody, and welcome to Chair League. I am your host, Jayzon, bringing you a Division 1 match here tonight. Team Bronze 5 versus Base Gods. And I'm actually joined by my teammate and co-caster that I've been casting with a lot lately, Icefox. How's it going, Icefox?
It's going okay. A little bit tired. Just got back from being out.
Yeah, you made it right in the nick of time for this one, man. Let me go ahead and adjust my mic levels. There we go.
We'll just call it calculated. How about that?
It was perfectly calculated. So we got both teams in the lobby. I think we had an AFK rogue, but I think he might be back. I think we're ready to go.
The worst of rogues, the AFKer.
All right. Alright, so we are going to be here for this best of one match in this Division 1. And it's going to be on Cursed Hollow, so we're going to do the whole thing just on one simple map. Nice and easy, Icefox. Start off the night.
Yeah, Cursed Hollow is probably one of my favorite maps, just from a design standpoint.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple map in general. There's really not anything too ridiculously complicated about it, but it's actually what I call the noob map, because it's actually the map that it's the only map you're allowed to play in the rotation for like the first 10 levels of your account, so they don't throw all the crazy mechanics at you all at once that this game has to offer. But Ragnaros and Artanis, the quick ban outs here, both of these teams know exactly what they don't want to play against.
It makes sense for these bans, especially. That's probably what they're planning on going. Malfurion pick up first seems pretty standard as well.
Yeah, Malfurion very strong on this map with his poke ability and deniability on the tributes. Also his amazing sustain. Be able to keep his team nice and healthy throughout those long dragged out fights around the trib. We also are seeing Rhaegar and ETC. ETC a really strong pickup here. Arguably the strongest tank in the game right now. Certainly the best CC tank that you can get your hands on.
Yeah, after the variant nerfs, they just put every other tank pretty much out besides him, so I'm wondering what they're actually going to end up doing about that, but it was kind of necessary.
Yeah, I do think it was definitely necessary. I think that taunt variant build might be a thing of the past, and people might have to get a little more creative if they want to work variant into their comps now. But we are seeing Falstad coming out. Still one of the strongest heroes in the meta, despite some not so recent nerfs where he's fallen a little bit from favor for some teams. But still, the global on a big map like this is something that you just can't get from many heroes.
You also can't forget the fact that he can gust people off a boss capture if they come to try and steal or something, or they want to decide to fly and steal in.
Yeah, one of the biggest deterrents to that is Johanna. They go ahead and pick up Johanna at the same time. Not to mention that that's a very strong pickup in general for this map. She also has great poke ability. Just one of the best denial tanks in the game, with a lot of her abilities being ranged, and just her ability to be able to take a lot of harass before she has to back off.
The Dahaka ban, they said no more rotation. You already got Falstad. You calm down.
Yeah, one global is enough. Thank you very much. We're not going to give you two. We do see the ban phase also coming in for Team Bronze 5, by the way. Great name. I love it.
Jay was there one day.
You're not wrong, sir. You're not wrong. There was once upon a time when Jay's account was very young. Anyway, we'll leave that dark chapter of my Heroes of the Storm experience behind and move on to the ban phase. They do have the backline damage at this point. They could decide to try and monopolize a little bit of what they want out of that now that they've picked up the Falstad. Could possibly be a Li Ming ban. They could go a lot of different directions with this, so Icefox. I'm not sure exactly where they're gonna go with this one.
Yeah, the fact that the backline is so diverse currently in the meta that you can play most any backliner and be fine.
Yeah, so they're going to go ahead and select Valla. Definitely one of the strongest backline damage dealers in the game right now. Pretty much tops as far as AA, particularly after the Tychus nerfs. She's pretty much uncontested in that realm.
Yeah, that's really true. Especially with Rhaegar, if they decide to go a Bloodlust comp with ETC's also attack speed boost, it might cause some pretty scary things that happen, so they just didn't want to deal with it, it seems.
Yeah, and it is. It's just a lot of damage that you can pile down onto a mosh pit. But I think Stage Dive might end up being the choice here, particularly with that backline Falstad always being able to just gust as soon as that mosh comes out. But Tyrande coming out from Base Gods here. Li Ming, a far more common pick on this map, but Tyrande gets a lot of value out of the ranged attacks that she has, particularly the Owl with the ability to interrupt from a very long distance, with Pierce at level 4 being able to interrupt multiple targets at once. And just in general, a good pick for this map. This is one of the ones that you prefer to have Tyrande on if you're going to go Tyrande.
Yeah, it also gives you a really safe boss checking tool in case you want to see if they're starting their boss or how far they are if you want to go invade or something. It telegraphs it, but it's still pretty strong just to have the knowledge.
Yeah, not to mention that double support on this map can be really, really strong. Because, again, you're having to sustain on those tribute fights for a very, very long time. And so Rhaegar and Tyrande will be able to keep them in the fight for a very long time. Tyrande also adding a decent amount of damage to the fold, depending on what build they decide to go for the side of Base Gods here. Two last picks coming up for Team Bronze 5. Greymane and Samuru coming out. So they're going to go with another frontliner in the form of Samuru. Good camp-taking ability for this map, but also just a all-around great hero for being able to sneak around the back and put a lot of pressure on the squishy backline that's forming so far for Base Gods.
Yeah, I think these two pickups are pretty strong. I'm just not sure how well it synergizes with what they already have, but Johanna and Samura are always pretty good with the Condemn into the Blade Storm. But Greymane, I'm not sure exactly how he fits into this puzzle yet.
Yeah, and you talk about Samuru. There's a lot of people in the community that have started to move away from him because of how many mechanics can be easily cheesed by using his copies. Be able to build stacks on certain quest talents, and just in general that a lot of us in the community are starting to learn pretty well how to tell the difference between the copies and the real thing. It used to be harder, but what?
There was a disconnect or something.
A perfectly timed disconnect, if I will say so myself. Let's see. So, sorry about that, folks. It's like we had Base Gods having a last-second DC there. I didn't even see what that last pick was. Did you happen to catch it?
I didn't think they picked anything. I thought there was just a DC before it even happened.
All right. Well. Well, we can redo this in the normal setting.
Yeah, they were last pick anyway, so they could have got whatever choice was left.
Right.
On the upside, I get to listen to the sweet Lucio login music.
Well, there we go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, a little hip-hop in all of our lives can do us some good. But, am I seeing the Butcher? Is that correct?
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, well.
I'm okay with this. This is something we never really get to see.
Yeah, Butcher was definitely not banned.
Looks like they might not be going Butcher, though. Looks like maybe they are. Are they confirming Butcher?
Make sure. I'm just going to confirm that everybody's ready to go and everybody's good.
There's some things you have to look at and just make sure.
Yeah. I think GLHF is probably a good enough sign for me. But yeah, it is going to be the Butcher here. Coming into Division 1 Chair League. Cursed Hollow, a very interesting map pick for him. It does give you a lot of extra vision on this map, particularly the Tribute itself gives off vision, so the ability for him to charge in from long distances is going to be something the Butcher can kind of take advantage of. And the lockdown potential over on the side of Base Gods is real between the ETC slides, the Tyrande follow-up stuns with Lunar Flare, the Butcher charge. There's going to be a lot of CC flying out over there to try and get Li Ming that reset.
Absolutely. One interesting thing that's interesting on the Butcher with this map is how big it is. He's probably going to be able to stack up pretty easily and be pretty safe doing it.
Alright, so we are loading in here to Cursed Hollow. On the left, Team Bronze 5. MVP Parker going to be playing the Greymane. Captain Murloc is going to be on Zarya. Rogue JT is going to be playing Johanna. Cassidy 14 will be on the Malfurion. And Mangy will be playing the Falstad.
The battle begins in
And on the right, on the red team, we have Base Gods with ETC being Burger,
5,
Forever Zero on
4,
Rhaegar,
3,
Medieval on
2,
Tyrande, Waldo
1.
on Li Ming, and
Fight.
Ezreal on the Butcher.
Both teams going to go ahead and walk their way to the mid. That Scouting Owl doing its job. Going to go ahead and boop Johanna, give a little bit of vision to alert the fact that there's no cheese coming in here. Everybody's just coming into the mid for now. But neither team going to really hard engage here until at least the minion wave gets here. See who's got the superior clear. Does look like two are going to be rotating directly to the bottom though. Side of Teams Bron 5 going to send both Zarya and Greymane to the bot to start to clear right off the bat. And these guys don't really want to have anything to do with early game team fighting.
Yeah, pretty much everyone talent's choices here for level 1 are also pretty standard. Zarya's going to Q build. Malf went Mana Burn, or Moon Burn, which is somewhat interesting, but pretty normal. And pretty much everyone else picked what you'd normally pick on their characters.
Yeah, Moonburn's a pretty interesting. You're right about the Malfurion talent there. Not an essential wave clear map where you would really expect it too much, but it never really hurts to have that wave clear out on any map, anytime. But I think there's just not a good enough innervate target. Nobody that's gonna be mana starved constantly over on the side of Team Bronze 5. Oh, but the charge in and stun coming in on Malfurion, and the instant blow up as Waldo got in there as well on that kill. That's first blood going over to Base Gods, and already seeing some value out of that Butcher pick.
Yeah, Butcher basically is the original Varian. Let's be honest. You press E and you just go and stun them.
Hey, you're right about that, you know? I mean, Varian could make a strong case here against Butcher needing to be nerfed to make things even.
I don't think they're ever going to nerf Butcher for now, though. I think he's too underplayed.
He's right where he needs to be, let's be honest. Nice rotation here from Base Gods to start out this match. Those 2 minutes, that 2 minute siege camp, gonna be taken just around the right time by Ezreal and Medieval down here. Gonna have that pushing in the bottom lane. Very advantageous spawn for this tribute as well for the side of Base Gods being in the top lane, allowing that camp to push. And the longer this goes for Base Gods, the more value they'll get out of that bottom camp.
Yeah, they mostly just want to aim to stall this out. Even if they could take it, I'd probably still just aim to stall it.
And the charge going all the way back onto Falstad. Mangy is going to be able to barrel roll out of this situation for now, but damage is done. Forever Zero also taking a lot of damage in there, but the double support should be able to bring him up eventually. MVP Parker getting very low on the back as well on that Greymane. And Butcher charge coming in onto Zarya. Captain Murloc's got to be careful here, but a nice root in response from Cassidy to be able to zone for them for now, and the casting will begin as the poke out comes. A huge orb from Waldo, hitting MVP Parker right in the face. He's going to have to back off and wait for some of those Malfurion heals to tick away. And it does look like Base Gods so far here, Icebox, are positioning pretty well and owning this tribute the way they want to.
Yeah, with the double support, they can't exactly take the tribute very easily, but they can stall it out massively.
Yeah, both teams having pretty good stall potential. The Greymane Cocktail, the Moonfire, a lot of ranged abilities from Falstad as well with that hammer. Azaria, of course, probably one of the best pokers in the game. This could literally go on forever. Oh, but it's probably not, as the Greymane is going to go down from that Butcher charge and the combo coming in from Waldo. Very nice collapse from the side of Base Gods, and this might be it. The final moment of that back and forth, and Base Gods gonna get that first tribute. And look what's going on in the bottom lane. Already the entire front wall taken down, and the well is about to go down as well, with a ton of damage going out onto the fort.
Yeah, like I said, I may have preferred them just to keep poking it out. They could have gone hard, and they did, and they won the tribute, but I'm just not sure that maybe they could have gotten more value out of just letting the camp push down the entirety of bottom.
Yeah, the longer that went for them, the better, but you know, I think that at some point, when you can get that tribute, you know, there's not a whole lot of harm in it. Eventually, the minion waves are going to come in enough to be able to take down the camp as it's, you know, as the waves wash into the fort and the tower shards start to take down some of the minions. But they got a lot of value anyway, Icebox. I mean, it's very, very nice play coming out from Base Gods, and that tribute gonna get them a start towards that first curse.
Now it's spawning on the bottom, and they don't have a well down here on the side of Team Bronze 5.
Yeah, yet another Base Gods spawn here. Favorable for them, and they also get that middle camp going. A nice root coming out here from Cassidy to be able to zone out the Butcher, and the poking game will begin. But this mid camp, yet again timed incredibly well by Base Gods. They're showing that they have solid mastery of this map, and it was their map choice. That's going to be pushing in the mid lane while this poking war goes on.
And they're certainly showing their macro play here.
And a ton of damage coming out from that orb. Yet again, Waldo getting some nice solid damage out here. And we do see that both teams just kind of poking back and forth. The heals are strong in here.
Both teams definitely have the heals they need to just keep this going, but once again, the mid is just going to slowly get pushed down. But this camp's going to die a little bit more easily.
Yeah, the ranged camp having a little bit of an advantage in that game, but the poke continues, and I don't know, you know, it's pretty interesting. Neither of these teams really committing to this too hard. Both of them are pretty well content to just poke back and forth and not make a real big deal out of this. But Butcher, just as I say that, goes ahead and charges in. The stun comes out on to Zarya, and Zarya will fall. Ton of damage also going down on Mangy. He's going to have to flap his wings and get out of here. The stun coming down onto Rogue, and Rogue goes down. And a huge orb coming out also to get Falstad. That's going to be a 3-for-0 exchange, and the second tribute going over to Base Gods. Meanwhile, they've completely drained this mid fort of any kind of ammo. Got a ton of damage on it, and they're going for boss here, Icebox.
Yep, that's probably what you want to do when you just killed an enemy, though, is go for their boss, but they are gonna have to be careful of the Falstad if he decides to, no, they're not even level 10 yet, so not even contesting that can really be made, but they're alone man if they wanted to try.
Yeah, no real contesting gonna be going on here just yet. And Cassidy caught in a very, very rough spot here. The charge will come in, very nice CC chain coming out from the side of Base Gods. The orb coming in from Waldo will be enough to finish him off. 6-0 so far on the scoreboard as Base Gods start to push in with this boss, and now they've got a decision to make. Do they want to go ahead and march through and try to put some pressure on this bottom keep, or do they want to go to the tribute? It looks like they're going to go for that bottom keep with their level 10 advantage here.
Yeah, I'd probably do that too. If ECC would have stayed maybe a little bit different, but he would end up going Mosh it. We could at least interrupt it then while they're pushing, but it's still a pretty good choice.
And a huge commitment coming in here. Starfall coming out from Medieval. Ton of damage. And the stun yet again onto Captain Murloc. But really, it's just to zone. They push them out, and that's going to be the first keep going over to the side of Base Gods. A 9-minute keep here on Cursed Hollow without even needing the curse here, Icefox. Very impressive coming out from Base Gods so far.
Absolutely showing that they've probably practiced this match quite a bit. At least this map, rather.
Yeah, a little bit of counter push coming out, however, from Team Bronze 5. They do capture that top siege camp, and it's been pushing in the top lane along with Falstad. Level 10 has been achieved. They do have the opportunity to fight, and any second, we're going to hear the toll. There it is of this next tribute. So this is Curse Point for the side of Base Gods. They probably will want to be... they don't really have to go after this one. Level 13 right around the corner, but it's not going to be here anytime soon for Team Bronze 5, so it's a decision time. With Rhaegar all the way in the top, I can't imagine that they're going to contest this too hard. CC Chain coming out of their own, however, for Team Bronze 5, and that'll be the first kill of the game, going over to them, and they'll be able to push everybody else out here and get their second tribute of the game, 2-2 here on Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, they pulled off their CCs there on ETC pretty well there. But interesting thing with everyone hitting a level 10 is Greymane's actually going pretty classical. He's not going for the new bullet.
Yeah.
He's just going for classical, go for the throat.
Yeah, go for the throat, pairing with Cocktail build. Very interesting play coming out here from MVP Parker. Actually getting a little... looks like he's getting a little low on that camp, but both teams going to capture that mid camp, going to have it pushing, and we'll see who prioritizes the clear here. Also, bottom camp being picked up now for Base Gods, so they'll have even more pressure in that bottom lane where the catapults are already pushing.
Level 13 has been achieved on the side of Base Gods now as well, so they're going to have the advantage for this one and maybe able to pick it up for a free curse.
Yeah, I don't know. Team Bronze 5 still might have to try to come and contest this. It's always a scary thing fighting down talent tiers, but if I had to pick one talent tier in the game that was the least impactful, 13 would be it. But I'll have to say, they do have the mid pushing, so I can see them at least trying to stall this out, but the longer you go back and forth in the poke game when you're down a talent tier, the more dangerous it gets. The poke damage is real coming out from Waldo, already chunking that health off of Cassidy. They'll go back and forth on this crib. Roget trying to at least bait them in a little bit. The cancel coming out from Azariel. The charge was on, but the three-man mosh pit coming out, met immediately by Mangy, getting that gust out onto him and a couple of the members in melee range. The Ancestral comes out to Berger. Roget getting very, very low, has to back out. The charge in on Greymane. The stun is good. Cassidy is going to fall. 3 for nothing, 4 for nothing. Mangy's going to have to barrel roll out of here, and that is going to be another big team fight win for Base Gods.
That was a really impressive fight, actually, coming from the side of Base Gods. They didn't heavily commit into any of the enemy's CC while they were trying to throw it out to stop them from killing them. Like, the Twilight Dream only hit ETC, and that was just, like, slightly at the max range, and the Gust only really hit ETC. So they did a really good job at baiting out the CC chains before they actually went in for the kills.
And meanwhile, that bottom lane is pushed all the way up to the core. No damage out on the core, but Boss going to be turned around and immediately captured by the side of Team Bronze 5. They're going to have that pushing in the top lane, and it looks like they're going to try to aid it here. Rotation actually coming in from the side of Base Gods, looking to see if they can catch anybody out here. Berger looking for that slide. Mosh Pit not up for another 40 seconds. Many of those ultimates still down. Only Twilight Dream down, however, for the side of Team Bronze 5. They even have the 13 talent tier. So if ever they were going to find a time to force, it would be now. And Base Gods realizes this. They're not too keen on going in, but 16 right around the corner. They grab it. They're going to charge in and try and take advantage of that stun, and they do. The burst damage coming out from Waldo yet again, along with that Butcher charge in. Starfall coming down as well, so a ton of damage coming down. And Also, Waldo going to be able to finish off Malfurion here. Zarya goes down. The boss pushing this top one. This might be it. We also got minions in the bottom that are pushing in towards the keep. One more kill, and I think this thing is over. Mangy gets back. MVP Parker going to have to heal up, but the core is already going down. 5-3. I don't think they can defend against this. The core is falling. Base Gods with a very quick win here on Cursed Hollow. Very, very impressive play coming out from them this match.
Yeah, it was pretty well played with how they managed to keep up the macro game going really efficiently and heavily timed. And their picks were really good too. I didn't really believe in the Butcher, but I guess he is the new variant now.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Butcher's always been a hero that's kind of been around. You know, he's never been the center of the meta, particularly in coordinated play. But there's always a talk of a certain hero that is particularly good at countering the Butcher, and his name is Brightwing. But while that polymorph can wreck him, we do see good, solid numbers for him in Hero League, particularly when he is not going against Brightwing. That's a big pattern that we see a lot, and just not a whole lot of counter CC for the Butcher. The only thing that the side of Team Bronze 5 really had there was the Malfurion route.
That doesn't exactly stop a charging Butcher from hitting your face.
Right, the only thing it can do is peel him off right after, kind of like what you'd get from a polymorph. But yeah, the CC chain was real. Medieval hitting a lot of solid lunar flares coming out. Good solid damage actually coming out also from Medieval on that Tyrande. 32k to the 39k of Li Ming. So pouring a lot of extra damage out there as well from that support position. Not to mention the extra little bit of healing that would keep them in for so long. And just 15-1. I mean, just utter domination in the team fights and a great team comp. And Base Gods pulling out the Butcher, pulling out the win here on Cursed Hollow.
Yeah, that was definitely the map they wanted to pick. It made too much sense for them.
Yeah, they did a great job with camps as well. The macro was really impressive. Team Bronze 5 doing a nice job of making sure to try to force engages when they had the opportunity to be on the same talent tier. But they were just kind of behind from that first get-go up in the top. You know, they lost that objective. They lost the soak in the bottom from that first set of siege giants, and it just kind of snowballed out of control from there. But definitely picking a good comp for this map, just not quite able to utilize it after falling behind early there. All right, well, that's going to do it for this cast, guys. I forgot to mention earlier, but this is the first of a quadruple header tonight. It's not often that we're not... Quadruple. We got 4 Chair League matches that we're casting tonight. It's not often that I have a Friday night off from our team practices, Icebox. I got to take every advantage of it that I can and get my Chair League casting quota in for the month. But, so we're going to be back with another match coming up real soon here. In fact, let me just go ahead and give Base Gods their big win. And then we'll go check out what is coming up next. We got Division 2 match here, 6 o'clock, so about half an hour from now. Deviant Core versus Mana Tap That. Gotta love Chair League games, man.
Yeah, a lot of the Chair League teams have some crazy names. Then you have us.
yeah, we're pretty boring. So that's going to be 6 o'clock, 7:20. We have Division 1 match, Diginauts versus BJ and Co. And then 8 o'clock, we've actually got a best out of 3 series in Division 1, Swift Wings Missing Butthole. I say it that way because it has a question mark at the end.
Good inflection then.
And Murgle. Mara. So we'll see you guys real soon for another Chair League match. Thank you guys for joining us. And thank you, Ice Fox, as always.
It's always a joy.
See you guys soon.